Greetings, royal family. I'm back. Ooh, it's housewives time. And let me tell you something. Things are starting to heat up, and I am here for it. This was a good episode. So we're on episode 15. So the episode opens up with Cynthia and Mike. She's still out in LA visiting Mike. And she pretty much wants to learn how to argue with Mike. She wants to go to counseling because she says that when Mike gets angry and frustrated, all he does is walk off. So she's afraid that Mike is going to cheat on her because he did in all of his previous relationships. He's coming out with a book and he's talking about his cheating days and his infidelities. So Cynthia is hoping that this will be the first relationship that Mike has that he won't cheat. You know, Cynthia says that she never cheated and she never will cheat. And you can tell he got a little defensive about that. He says, well, you're perfect. So Cynthia's like, no, don't do that. So it just makes me wonder, Cynthia, do you really want to get married, girl? Do you really want to get married? Because if this cheating thing is an excuse now, I guess, Cynthia is known as the runaway bride. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't strike me as the type of person that likes to stay committed to anything or anyone too long. She's proven that over the years in these shows. So I wonder if she's getting cold feet. We'll see in October because that's when they're scheduled to be married. Their wedding day, the month of their wedding is scheduled to be in October. So I don't know. It just makes me wonder. And it's like, why the rush then? If anything, slow it down and then wait to get married until you iron out all of these little, things. But Cynthia loves to be married. She loves the idea of marriage. That's what it looks like to me. We wish them well. Anyway, we move on to Candy. So Candy and Kenya are planning an event. And I'm like, huh? What's up with these two? Like, is it me or is Candy and Kenya's friendship just coming across a little bit forced? Just like fake? No? I hope Candy doesn't think that Kenya likes her, girl. Candy, I hope you're smarter than that. And Candy said that Nene wasn't going to come to this event because Kenya is involved with this event. Now, I did get an opportunity to watch Nene's live review of the Housewives episode. The most recent one, she did a live with Alvin. Who would have thought? Alvin is Trina's ex-assistant from Love and Hip Hop. Anyway, so she did a live review and she said that she and Greg were stuck in traffic and they were actually on their way to the event, to the kickball event, but they were stuck in traffic, so they just decided to turn around. She did say that she contacted the producers and she also reached out to Marlo. She said she reached out to someone else, but she couldn't remember who. So I don't know. So by the time that they would have arrived, because it was far, like hours away from where Nene resides. So I don't know why Candy would say that, unless I don't know, maybe I heard incorrectly what she said. So I don't know. Anyway, so we move on to Nene. So she's in the kitchen. You see her talking to Greg. And they're talking about Mark's charity event. Greg is saying that him and Mark, they do text each other. They do communicate. So they're growing a little bit of a friendship there. And Greg was invited, but Nene wasn't. So Kenya did post the flyer on social media. Childish, typical behavior of her. And she tagged all the guests, everyone who's invited, and she also tagged Greg. And she didn't tag Nene because she wanted the world to know that she was not inviting Nene. She wanted Nene to be publicly humiliated for whatever reason, but it ended up backfiring on Kenya, and that's why this was a great episode. Again, are we surprised by Kenya's behavior? It's like, girl, you got to do all of that? Anyway, so we move on to the kickball event. Now, girl, Miss Eva, you are supposed to be on bed rest. What are you doing at this kickball event? They do get paid per episode, right? So I guess she got to make her coins. Anywho, so Kenya's team, it's Candy's team versus Kenya's team. Kenya's team ends up winning. And of course, she makes a huge deal about it. Like, to me, she's just trying to come across as this, the girl of the group that's trying to unify or bring everyone together. And she intentionally tries to leave Nene out of things. And it's just like, okay, girl, like nobody's buying this whole kumbaya moment. Candy and Kenya, this is when it's revealed that Candy and Kenya, they plan on taking the girls on a vacation to Greece. And I think it was Eva that said, wait, everybody's, not here. Candy says that she is the one that's going to be extending an invite to everyone. Kenya, not so much. She even said in her confessional that if it was up to her, if she was the only one planning the trip, she would not have invited Nene. Yeah, girl, we know. We move back on to Cynthia. She's sitting in her wine cellar, so she's back in Georgia, and she's FaceTiming Mark, and she's just basically saying how she feels bad about the fact that they're arguing. It just seems like they both love each other. It does. And they're both willing to make it work. Mark said that he did find a counselor. I do wish them well. Cynthia said that she seen what therapy has done for Dennis and Portia. I'm like, okay, girl, sure, that's what you... Okay, girl, don't compare your relationship to theirs. I don't know. I just don't get Cynthia. Maybe she just doesn't have enough going on, so she just has to kick up an issue with Mark. With Mike. Anyway, so we move on to Mark and Kenya. They take baby Brooklyn to her swimming lesson. Oh, God. That baby is so darn cute, and she is always happy. I really hope that she stays that way. She is always happy. I just love seeing her little smile and kicking her little feet. She is so adorable. It is a little strange that Kenya is trying to find out or figure out living arrangements, because she's saying in her confessional during this scene that, they're still working out if Mark is going to be moving to Atlanta. I mean, you've already gotten married. You've already had a baby, and now you're trying to sort out living arrangements. I'm pretty sure that Mark probably made it very clear that he's not interested in moving to Atlanta. So why are you trying to change this now? Whatever. So they're throwing a charity couples event, right? This is the event that she intentionally left Nene's name off of. No, this was the bowling. I'm sorry. They're the bowling event. So as per Kenya, it's couples only. This is as per Kenya. So Mark wants Greg and Nene to come to the actual charity event, and he also wants them to come to the bowling event as well. So Kenya doesn't, of course. So that post, I don't even know if that's passive aggressive, but that is just so, it just made you look bad, King. Like everything you do, everything that makes you look bad, you do it to yourself. Like nobody is doing these things to you. All season long, you have been doing these things. You showed up to Marlo's hair wig launch, and you just made a mockery of yourself. It's too much. And you're intentionally leaving Nene out of this event that Mark is serious about. But she extended an invitation to her little brunch. Granted, she wasn't there. She was late. Fine. But you did show up. So what did you show up there for? But don't want to invite her to something that your husband and you are doing, and he is taking seriously. You making it bad for yourself. You call Tanya all types of names, invited the cookie lady to a sit down. You doing this to yourself. Listen, Mark is not a yes man, right? Like after Brooklyn's little swimming lesson, right? They're sitting down there talking, and Kenya has the audacity to say that Nene has bullied her. Nene has, oh God, Nene has bullied her, has jumped in her face and tried to fight her. I'm like, wait, what? And thanks to Bravo, they pan back to when Kenya is jumping in Nene's face, being extra. Mark is not a yes man. He's not buying it. He's like, I'm sure you're not a victim. Girl, knock it off. Obviously, this event is very important to him, rightfully so, because it is about helping young Black males. And he does want some of the men in the group, the husbands in the group, to speak. You can tell he's taking this seriously. This is the event that they were looking for spaces when he was with Kenya, and he was figuring it out what chair is going to go where. He's passionate about this. And Kenya, your antics, this is not the time for your antics. This is a charitable event that is going to possibly help a lot of Black young males in need of mentorship, and you're making this about you. Like I said, no one has to make you look bad. You do it all by yourself. It's just old. We move on to the bowling event. Again, we see Eva. Go home, Eva. And she really thought that she was going to be bowling. Anyway, when Kenya was trying to talk to Mark about their intimacy, it was just sad. It was really sad. Even though she was trying to laugh it off and laugh, it was very telling. It was sad. Mark is just like, yeah, whatever, I'll play along. And Kenya's just trying to force this relationship in our faces on TV. Girl, this is bad. You wanted this so bad that you're willing to make yourself look like a fool. That's pathetic. Tanya wasn't invited, okay, because Kenya said that it was couples only, this little bowling event. However, we did see that Eva and Cynthia were both there without their mates. As per Kenya, it was a couples event. Mark, he made sure that in front of everyone, he let it be known that he said everyone is invited. Okay? Because Tanya's man, I think he was supposed to be out of town, and Kenya's like, well, it's a couples event. If Paul can't come, then, which was, they were showing the text messages, and Portia was showing the text message. Candy was showing text message that Kenya said is couples only. But again, we saw Cynthia and Eva. And Mark said, no, I didn't say that. He kept saying it. No, I didn't say that. I said everyone could come. And he said this in front of all the ladies. Once again, Kenya, making yourself look stupid. Portia said that in her confessional that Dennis would have had her back. Okay? She says that if she doesn't like someone, Dennis don't like him either. He wouldn't ask any questions. It would have been like, nope, we don't like him. We don't like him. But that's because you two have a different relationship. It's not manufactured, Portia. But I get what you're saying, sis. I get what you're saying. So he totally called Kenya out. Totally threw her under the bus, I guess. Kind of like what she did to Cynthia, right? See how quick that karma comes back around? And again, Mark is not at all interested in participating in any of in any of her antics. Again, you could tell that he's very serious about this. And granted, some people are saying that Mark should have had Kenya's back. But again, Mark is not a yes man. I think that he is sick of her foolishness. And he's not co-signing. Like, he's just not co-signing. And does that make him a bad person? Not to me. Not to me. So the ladies noticed that Mark shut Ken down and that he doesn't play, because they were like, who the heck is Ken? Ken, reel it in, Ken. They're laughing, they're snickering to themselves. And Portia, she ends up confronting Kenya about what happened between her and Tanya. And I loved every single minute of it. Now, Kenya's defense was, it's not your fight, Portia. This is what Kenya says to Portia. Really? It's not her fight. Now, when Nene and Cynthia were trying to hash out their little differences in that little hotel room when you guys were in Canada, was it your fight, Kenya? Was it her fight? She jumped all in that. Cynthia couldn't even get a word in. You would have thought that Kenya and Nene were hashing out an issue. Wouldn't even let her. She was all in the hallway, all in the video, all on the record, dancing all over the place like Diddy. I guess that in that case, it was her fight. Is it because it was out of the country? So the rules don't apply, Kenya? You're doing this to yourself, sis. So the ladies, they're trying to talk sense into Kenya. We're still at the bowling alley. They're trying to talk sense into her about her not inviting Nene and intentionally not tagging Nene in that social media post. And Nene Kenya is talking, and this is at this point, this is when we found out who Ken was. So Mark is like, Ken, let's rein it in. Let's rein it in. Put all of this to the side. So everybody's like, Ken, who the heck is Ken? So Portia is siding with Mark. She says, we've reached out to one another for lesser events. This is a serious event. Like I said, Mark is serious about this. And the cause is for a good cause, a very positive cause, a much needed cause. So Mark says that this is bigger than all of them. And it's a charity event. Like, he's not interested in put this BS aside. So some of the ladies agreed. Candy kind of agreed. Portia, she was very vocal. You know, she says, you know, you guys are one and it's not your event. You know, the two of you are putting on an event, which was a good point. So as they're talking, Greg and Nene walk in. And let me tell you something. Nene came in bopping and smiling. I don't know what she was on, but honey, she came in there bopping with her head wrap and her sunglasses, and I couldn't do anything but laugh. It was like magic. Now, Nene did she embraced everyone. She went around and she said hi to everyone. She did try to embrace Kenya. And Kenya just walked away from her. And listen, Kenya claims that she can be cordial with Nene, but she can't be fake. Kenya will never be cordial with Nene. Never, ever, ever. Because that will be the end of her storyline. And that will be the end of her image that she's the HBIC. You know, she will never be cordial with Nene. Never. Bottom line. Now, Greg, listen, okay? Uncle Greg said to Mark, to his face, he let him know, I can't go anywhere. Like, I'm not going anywhere my wife can't come. And Mark let him know that Nene is invited. At this point, Greg and Nene were standing in front of Mark and they were talking still at the bowling alley. And Nene said that, you know, she made a good point in her confessional. She says if she would have had an event and she would have invited Mark and not Kenya, it would be a big problem. And yes, it would. Yes, it would. Everybody would have had something to say. And again, I do like the fact that Portia and Candy tried to talk sense into Kenya, letting her know, like, it's just wrong. Like, this is a charity event that you and your husband are putting on. Why would you intentionally invite Greg and not invite Nene? Like, it's just wrong. I noticed, though, someone who didn't say anything, not that I expected her to, was Cynthia. Cynthia said nothing. Moving along, Mark says that he will say this in front of everyone so there is no confusion. He says, he lets Ken know, and everyone else is listening, that the nonsense is irrelevant. And he wants both Nene and Greg at the event because he doesn't believe in separating a couple. It was at this point that Kenya realized that she is not the boss of anything. Not on Housewives, not as it pertains to this event. She's not the boss of Mark. She's not the boss of anything. I do agree with Mark, though. I do. She did that to be nasty. She did it intentionally when just the previous episode, Nene had her little girls' brunch or whatever it's called, and she extended an invitation to everyone, even Kenya. Because if she didn't, oh, Nene's jealous. Nene's shady. She intentionally left Kenya out. She extended an invitation to everyone. So Nene tries to embrace Ken at this point one last time. And once again, she brushed her off. And like a little child that she is, Kenya walks off. She was fuming. She was mad. She was heated. So that was the end of this episode. Next week, we're supposed to see Nene talking to Wendy on the phone. We're supposed to see, I think, Kenya storming out or Mark storming out at the actual event. So it seems like things are heating up here. And not in Kenya's favor. She does a lot of talking trash. And again, we know why she did what she did. She intentionally because Mark said he's not on Instagram, so he has no idea what's going on. He said, but this is all bigger than all of us. He's not into this nonsense. Let's put this petty stuff to bed. Let's put your egos aside. He let it be known, I want Nene and Greg in attendance, and Ken agrees. Right, Ken? And she said, yeah, sure. So everybody was getting their life. They found this extremely amusing. And I don't know if I found it amusing more so than, yes, check her. And you know what? Some will say that he's abusive and he's a man and why he's talking to his wife like that. Kenya represents him and he represents Kenya. This event is not about Kenya Moore. This event is bigger than all of the cast members. And it seems that Mark is very philanthropic, and he is not playing. You're not going to ruin this event. You're not going to make this about you. This is not about you at all. Period. I sided with Mark, and I think he did the right thing. And yes, I get it. A husband is supposed to stick by his wife. I get that. But is a husband supposed to stick by his wife even if she's wrong and making a fool of herself and potentially making a fool of him as well? Get down below and let me know what you think, royal family. You don't have to agree with anything that I said, but we can disagree respectfully. No profanity is needed in the chat. It will be deleted. So if you enjoyed the commentary, please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you check out some of the other content here on the channel. For the new royal family members, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. We'd love to have you join the royal family. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Make sure you like the video and drop down in the comments before you go. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. So, royal family, I'm signing off for now. Until next time, peace.